Hello there, 6th graders. This is Mr. Kashi speaking. As you can see, I will not be in today, but that doesn't mean we can't go over our next lesson together. Our schedule for the day is up on the board. Hopefully attendance has been taken already. If it hasn't, please inform the sub that they need to do that. Number 2, since I'm not in today, I will collect the homework and take a look at it myself. And moving on to number 3, our section today is Chapter 9, Section 9, which is on volumes of rectangular prisms. It's a lot easier than our last section on surface areas. So we can get a get a little break. It's a little bit more easier, a little bit more straightforward. And once again, when I'm gone, you have plenty of work time to try and work out all the kinks that you have individually. So you should have the notes printed out in front of you, so you can be following along on each one of these slides. 9 volumes of rectangular prisms. Now, the first thing that we need to know before we start calculating volumes is our unit of measurement. Our unit of measurement is the cubic unit. Okay, and that is the space in a cube that measures 1 unit long by 1 unit wide and 1 unit high. Okay, so this is a picture of something that has multiple units, but as you can see, this would be a 1 cubic unit right there. It would be the length, the width, and the height right there. That is 1 cubic unit. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finding out ways to calculate how many of these cubic units are in certain objects. And today we're just going to be talking about rectangular prisms. How many of these cubes can we fit inside the rectangular prisms? So, now that we know what a cubic unit is, we need to move on and find out about volume. Volume is the number of those cubic units needed to fill the space inside a figure. So we're going to be counting up those cubic units, and we're going to be doing that given this equation down here. So volume equals the area of the base times height. Okay? Area of the base times height. So if we find the area of the base and just multiply it by how high it is, then we will have our volume measured in cubic units. Sometimes it's going to be cubic inches, sometimes it's going to be cubic centimeters, cubic feet, cubic yards. The same thing that we've been doing with area, but we're going to be doing it in cubic units. Now another one, if it is rectangular prism, the volume is actually rather simple. The volume for a rectangular prism, I'm going to write it right here, rectangular prism, there we go. Okay. And what we do is we actually take the base and we split that up into length and width. So the volume of a rectangular prism would just be the length times the width, which that would be our base. So length times the width, that's our base, and then we would just multiply it by the height. So this is a little bit more of a precise equation on how we can find the volume. So a lot of the times what they're going to be doing is giving us the length, the width, and height of an object, and we have to find the volume by simply multiplying all three of those together. The reason that we have this one, the volume equals the base times height, is for those prisms that aren't exactly rectangular. Maybe it has a triangle base, and they give us the area of the base, and they give us the length of the height. And if we multiply those two together, we'll find that triangular prism's volume. So a couple of different ways to calculate the volume, but this length times width times height is the one that you'll be using most often today. Going through a couple of examples, I have this aquarium first. We need to find the volume of this aquarium. So volume is what we're finding, so V's out front. I'm going to make this the length. The length is going to be 20. I'm going to make this the width. The width will be, the width would be 10 inches here, times 10, and our height would be this 12 inches there. So this would be the same as, volume equals length times width times height. When we multiply all those out together, 20 times 10 times 12, we would come out to 2,400 cubic inches. So how I want you to label it is with the CU, which stands for cubic, and then the IN, the abbreviation for inches. Cubic inches. I would not like you to do this with that 3. We don't. No. Okay, 2,400 cubic inches. Stay with the abbreviations there, and that would be 2,400 cubic inches is the volume of that aquarium right there. Give you a sec to copy that down into your notes. Then we'll be moving on to another example here on the right. All right. So here is a rectangular prism. Okay, this is 6 feet up here in case you can't see it. 6 feet. Okay, 5 feet is the height, and 7 feet is the length. So volume equals length times width times height, and the length would be 7, the width would be 6, and the height would be 5. So to do that, our volume would be 7 times 6 times 5. 7 times 6 times 5, if you were to multiply that out, you would get 210 cubic feet. Feet is the units that the length, the width, and the height are measured in, so we have to stay in feet. 210 cubic feet is the volume of that rectangular prism, this green one here off to the right. Give you a sec to copy that down in your notes, and then we'll be moving on to a word problem. All right. This is a word problem that is straight out of your textbook, and if you could follow along as I read it, and then we will solve it together on the screen. This is a guided problem solving question. The shape of a monument is a hexagonal prism. The area of the base is 5.4 square feet, and the height is 13 feet. Find the volume. So I'm going to write down our equation for volume, length times width times height, but this form is not going to help us out because as you can see up here it says hexagonal prism. So we can't use this because length and width doesn't help us find the area of a hexagon, but we need the volume equals base times height because they do give us the base. The base is 5.4 square feet. 5.4 is the base, and then the height is 13 feet. So that would be going right there. So 5.4 times 13. Really, we just have two numbers to multiply together for this problem. So volume equals base times height. If you were to multiply out 5.4 times 13, that would equal 70.2 cubic feet. 70.2 cubic feet. That would be the volume of the monument that is a hexagonal prism. We are able to do this because it tells us the area of the base. Give you another a little bit more time to copy that down in your notes. This is an example of using the volume equals base times height equation rather than the length times width times height. So as I said, these examples are a little bit easier to understand. compared to the surface area that we did yesterday. So I want to make sure that you have plenty of work time to get started on the assignment and ask any individual questions that you have. And you'll be able to come up to the front and choose one of the 9 worksheets. It'll either be the reteaching or the practice worksheet. Both of them are going to take you a little bit longer just because of how much work I want you to show. I want you to show me every step. Tell me what exactly you plugged into your calculator so I understand that you are following the problem, following and getting the solution the way that we need you to. So good luck on the assignment. I'll take any questions that you guys have when I return, and I hope you have a good rest of the day and keep your stick on the ice.